The Border Management Authority is hopeful that it can clear the thousands of travelers stuck at the Lebombo Border Post with Mozambique. Despite processing more than 25,000 people a day, vehicles have been backed up for several kilometers. Meanwhile, over 300 people have been arrested for attempting to cross the border illegally. Newzroom Afrika's Scara Mafokoane has been monitoring this story and joins us now live. Very good afternoon to you, Scara. How are the officials describing this situation, for which they had told us a couple of days ago they were ready and able to deal with?
Good afternoon to you, Bravuyo, and to our viewers. Yes, indeed, they said they anticipated the high number of people leaving South Africa from Mozambique. But it would seem there was failure in terms of preparing themselves for the influx of people. Two things they mentioned, Bravuyo, that caught them off guard. The first one was that last year a lot of people did not go home because there was a protest in Mozambique. The second one was they mentioned something along the lines of COVID restrictions, which meant for 2 years some of these people you're seeing here could not leave South Africa and to go to Mozambique. However, why did they not prepare themselves adequately enough with more boots on the ground to mitigate some of the scenes that we saw over the past 2 days? Bravuyo, where we are, it's the N4 highway. Now, this section is called Kilometer 7, which is further to my left-hand side. I'll allow my colleague Tapelo to zoom out a bit, and so that the viewers can see the extent. Now, it's still thousands of cars. This is 7 kilometers before you make it to the Lebombo Border Gate, Bravuyo. So it's still, the roads are still congested. However, the cars that you see stopped here, they are being managed. We saw earlier on, we spoke to the MEC of Community Safety in the Mpumalanga area, and he told us that Mpumalanga traffic law enforcement, the National Traffic Police, as you can see that sign, the South African Police Services, including the South African National Defence Force, will be deployed as additional enforcers on this road. Earlier on in the morning, it was a mess on this highway, and around 10 o'clock yesterday, it was gridlocked. They have managed to open this lane going northwards towards Nelspruit. However, they are controlling the movement on my left-hand side, so they are letting at least 4 cars every 2 minutes to go through, so that they can ease the congestion towards the border post. But perhaps let's listen to what MEC Masie told us about the additional boots on the ground here.
But unfortunately, the reality of it is that the numbers are very much hectic, and that is why we just give this indication that over 30,152 people were processed yesterday. It is very much clear that even today we are likely to reach that number. Because of the numbers, we are completely struggling to clear everybody. So on that basis, the decision is, which we have just put together with the minister, we have just decided that we are going to do an additional manual processing of all of the travelers here.
That was, in actual fact, Commissioner Masie Pato. I thought we'd have the MEC Masie of the Mpumalanga government when he told us about the additional boots that have been deployed here to manage some of that traffic flow that we saw. However, Commissioner Masie Pato telling us earlier that they are now on a manual or hybrid system whereby, Bravuyo, they are, as this gentleman tries to go through, he has been stopped, however. Commissioner Masie Pato telling us earlier that what they have done is introduce this hybrid system, which is a bit, unprecedented in a way. But however, their reasoning towards it, Bravuyo. They're saying they were trying to avoid what potentially could have led to a stampede at the border post. Now, we saw thousands and thousands impatient people stuck at the airport, not the airport, the border post. Now, the danger that it posed was that many of them, Bravuyo, were getting impatient, they were hungry, and they had not had a bath, some say, for about 3 days. So it was on that basis that the government of the Interior Minister in Mozambique, together with a delegation from the South Africa, from the police in the Policia in Mozambique, came to the border, met with the BMA, and a decision or options were weighed. They both consulted with their respective governments, and then that decision was taken. When we drove from the border, Bravuyo, and coming here, it was seamless. It took us less than 10 minutes to get here. A trip 2 days ago and yesterday took over 2 hours. So if you're going to ask me about the flow of traffic and if they are managing, the answer is yes. From what we could observe, there is a proper management now, at least, and more boots deployed here. There at the border, we witnessed the process that is the officials from the BMA have introduced in stamping, but taking details of whoever is crossing the border. I posed a question to Commissioner Masiapato earlier that will this not be a security breach in a way that they are abandoning their system, their biometric system, which enables them to pick up if somebody crossing the border has transgressed or is being searched for by either Interpol or law enforcement. That system is not active right now. However, they are saying to mitigate that, they're collating the information of the people, they're stamping their passport. At a later stage, when all this traffic has subsided and everybody has crossed, they are going to consolidate and enter those people who have left South Africa into the system. Should they pick up anyone who is wanted, together with the Mozambican police, they will be searching for them in Mozambique, and that person will be brought to book. That is the current situation as it stands here. And I must mention again that this, what you're seeing here right now, earlier on in the morning, Bravuyo, it was absolute mess. There was no control whatsoever of movement here.
Scara Mafokoane keeping an eye on things at the Lebombo Border Post with Mozambique, where thousands of people have been stranded, with the authorities there unable to cope with the influx of people who are trying to cross the border. But officials still confident that they are able to manage the situation. In other words, it could have been worse.